Well, we've made it to 2023, and you know what that means. As we go into the new year, this is when most people's motivation is at its highest. So why not take that motivation and harness it to do something great for your health? 88% of American adults are metabolically unhealthy, and this metabolic dysfunction is rooted in insulin resistance, a condition that most people don't even realize they have. So let me ask you this. Do you have high blood pressure? Have skin tags on your neck or in your armpits? Carry excess weight around your midsection? If you answered yes to one or more of these questions, it's more than likely that you have insulin resistance. And if insulin resistance is not addressed, it will eventually progress to type 2 diabetes, increase your risk of heart disease, Alzheimer's, and certain cancers. But don't panic. Insulin resistance is a condition of diet and lifestyle, and it can be reversed with a few simple changes. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the most effective strategies you can start implementing now to reverse insulin resistance. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a certified health and nutrition coach. I post videos twice a week here on YouTube talking all things insulin resistance, weight loss, sleep, and more. So if you're ready to take control of your metabolic health, make sure to click that subscribe button. And you can also find me on TikTok and Instagram, where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by Squarespace. For everything from websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, Squarespace is the all-in-one platform that does it all. Head to squarespace.com/healthcoachkate to start your free trial today. So if you're watching this video, it's probably because number one, your doctor has diagnosed you with insulin resistance, which is actually pretty rare because although insulin resistance is very common, fasting insulin is not routinely tested for. So if you are lucky enough to have a doctor who tests fasting insulin, then you might have got a diagnosis. Or number two, you think you have insulin resistance based on the fact that you have a lot of the symptoms that are associated and caused by it. Either way, the steps I'm going to outline in this video can help. They're going to help you not only reverse insulin resistance, but also prevent it going forward and keep you in good metabolic health. Number one is to track your blood sugar. Unless you're diabetic, it is unlikely that you've even given much thought to your blood sugar. But measuring your blood sugar levels periodically and seeing the blood sugar response that you get from certain foods can help you to make adjustments that will improve your insulin sensitivity. Because insulin resistance is actually caused by high insulin levels, which is also known as hyperinsulinemia. And what causes our insulin to rise is when we are frequently experiencing blood sugar spikes throughout the day. Because every time our blood sugar goes up, insulin is released, and its job is to take the excess sugar from our bloodstream and deliver it to our cells. So the more our blood sugar is spiking, the more insulin that's needed. If we can keep our blood sugar from spiking, or at least get it spiking less often, less insulin will be needed. And by keeping your circulating insulin low, this is when your insulin sensitivity starts to improve, aka your insulin resistance begins to reverse. So with a blood glucose meter, what we are looking for is how the food we eat impacts our blood sugar. You're going to want to test before you eat to get your reading, and then at intervals after you eat. Mainstream recommendations will tell you to only check 2 hours post-meal, but by doing this, you are missing a very important window. If you really want a clear picture, I would say to measure 10 minutes after eating, 30 minutes after eating, and then 2 hours after eating. Or you can also use a continuous glucose monitor. I will link options for both in the description box down below. By doing this, you can see how your blood sugar level changes in response to that meal. You can also see how long it takes for your blood sugar to come back down to baseline. It's the big swings up and down that we want to avoid. This is known as glycemic variability, which describes the changes in blood sugar we see throughout the day. High glycemic variability is what we want to avoid. It's associated with an increased risk of insulin resistance. Low glycemic variability is what we want to aim for. By measuring our blood sugar, we can see how our meals are affecting us, and if they are contributing to insulin resistance or countering it. All right, but how can we keep our blood sugar stable? Let's get into tip number 2. Which is to be smart with carbs. Now, we just touched on this briefly, but when we eat carbohydrates, they are broken down into sugar. The sugar enters our bloodstream and insulin is released in order to take the excess sugar from our bloodstream to our cells. This is not the case when we eat protein and fat, which are metabolized differently. So if we reduce our carb consumption throughout the day, if we aim for 100 grams of carbohydrates or less, or even better, 50 grams or less, our glycemic variability will reduce significantly. Now, yes, eating less than 50 grams of carbs in a day is considered to be keto, the keto diet, but this isn't always necessary to reverse insulin resistance. Don't get me wrong, keto works, I'm a fan. But even just being smart about carbohydrates can be effective. One way to be smart about carbohydrates is to not eat them naked. What do I mean by this? When we eat carb-rich foods in isolation, so for example, tropical fruit, these foods are very low in protein and fat, the blood sugar response to these foods is going to be significant. But if we take the exact same food and we pair it with a source of protein and/or fat, the blood sugar response is going to be less significant. So if you're having a difficult time reducing carbs in your diet, that's okay. Just try to pair them with protein and fat when you can. Another thing we can do is that when we eat foods that are rich in carbohydrates, eat them around exercise. This doesn't have to be a big run or a hard workout. I'm just talking even going for a 10-minute walk before or after you eat the carbs. Your body can use the energy immediately and the blood sugar response is going to be less significant. And my final tip for being smart about carbs kind of goes along with the one about not eating them in isolation, and that is to eat them at the end of your meal. So if you're eating a steak, some vegetables, and some potatoes, for example, the potatoes are of course going to be the carbohydrate-rich portion of this meal, so eat the steak and the vegetables first, and your blood sugar is going to be a lot more happy. Now, before I get into the final step on how you can reverse insulin resistance going into 2023, I'm going to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you've been wanting to build a website, whether that be for personal use, such as a blog, or for a business you're starting up, Squarespace has got you covered. Their award-winning customizable templates will give your website a polished and professional look, while also being highly customizable. You have complete control over colors, fonts, sizing, photos, and more. Their templates are beautiful and professional. I've been using Squarespace for all of my online needs since I launched my coaching business back in 2018. Not only did I build my website through Squarespace, but I also have my email list and I send out my newsletter through them as well. You can run an online store directly through Squarespace and accept payments. And these are just some of the amazing features that Squarespace has to offer. If you're curious but not 100% sure, you can start a free trial with Squarespace without having to enter your credit card details or anything. You can access that by heading to squarespace.com/healthcoachkate. And when you build your website, when you love it and you're ready to launch, you can use code healthcoachkate to save 10% off your first order. Thank you again to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Number 3 is to do the right type of exercise. Now, I do think that diet is the most important component when it comes to reversing insulin resistance, but exercise can help as well. But it can also be counterproductive if we're doing the wrong type. In the context of insulin resistance, we do not want to be doing moderate or intense cardio. The goal of exercise should not be on burning calories. More calories burnt does not mean it's better for insulin resistance. For reversing insulin resistance, we want to be increasing our muscle mass, and this is done through resistance training. The more muscle mass you have, the more room to store glucose your body has. This is because our muscles are where most of our glucose in our body is stored, and this can help to reverse insulin resistance because the glucose can be more spread out. Resistance training also helps because when you're exercising, your cells can use glucose without the need for insulin. In a 2019 study, researchers looked at the effect short-duration resistance training had on insulin sensitivity in overweight men. The men did 3 resistance training sessions a week for 6 weeks, with each session only lasting 15 to 20 minutes. So a maximum of 1 hour of exercise a week. At the end of the study, the participants saw a significant increase in their insulin sensitivity. So it doesn't have to be you killing yourself in the gym. Like I said, burning calories is not the goal. Exercising longer is not the goal. Just be effective with your workouts. And this also means that you don't need to be going to the gym. Any body weight movements you can do, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, anything like that, that can help. And it's gonna be a lot more effective than cardio. Anyways, guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you found this video helpful. Now, if you're looking for a bit more guidance and support, if you want a meal plan, you can check out my 7-day insulin resistance masterclass. I've created this masterclass to really simplify everything, give you what you need to know in as few words as possible. Like I said, it includes a sample meal plan, shopping lists, and you also get access to a private Facebook group where you can work with me a little bit closer. And if you want to save 25% for the next week only, use code 2023 at checkout. Thanks again for watching, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what your New Year's resolutions are and how you plan on achieving them. I love chatting with you guys in the comment section. And yeah, I'll leave it at that. So happy New Year's, guys. If you did enjoy this video, you might also enjoy my video on meat. And if it contributes to insulin resistance, you can check it out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my coaching programs, including my 7-day insulin resistance masterclass, you can check that out here. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.